to the girls that as you don't have any classes and the schools don't do this very much, I was going to every day maybe, if you like it and you don't find it too boring, I was going to teach you a little bit about business. And I was going to teach you like the basics of business, how do business works, and why do people want to go into business. So, as you're in a school, the first thing that I wanted to ask you is, what do you think that being an entrepreneur means? Isabella?
Well, being an entrepreneur is like, you need to earn money, obviously.
Okay.
And you want a good business for it. And like, you want to create products that people want. So say, I don't know, it's what people want and they need, and like for a good price and stuff they haven't seen before.
What people want, okay. Lily, can you think of what does it mean to be an entrepreneur? Very good, very good. A leader, very good. That's excellent. And Sophia?
To interpret.
What?
To interpretate.
Interpretate.
Yes.
Interpretate what?
Money.
Okay. So Sophia means, I think that what she's saying is to understand money. Okay.
No.
So understand money. Okay. And the thing is, if you think about it, what entrepreneurs do is nobody really knows what being an entrepreneur means, and everybody talks about what does an entrepreneur means. Does it mean somebody that is very rich, that has a massive business? Does it comes with a really good idea? Does that it comes with something that nobody had? And if we think about what do entrepreneurs really mean, is not a simple answer. Nobody really knows what the answer is, but some of them, and the whole idea of it is to produce something and to think of something that everybody needs. So for example, if you think about at the moment in the coronavirus, if you were an entrepreneur, what do you think that people really need? Because the whole idea is you want to create something that nobody has, but people really, really need it. Because if people need something, they're going to buy it from you. So what do you think that people need now? Lily? You are just going into business because everybody in the world needs something now. What would you invent if you could invent something now? Fantastic. So you will invent something for the coronavirus. So you invent something like, for example, a vaccine. There you go. Isabella, what would you do if you were an entrepreneur and want to start a business now?
Okay, people need like food and water and stuff. So you could make like an online transporting thing where like people, it's like, so like Asda and stuff, then they're kind of like taking it slow and you've got like 3 weeks. You need like a quick way of getting them to them.
Very good. And Sophia, what would you do?
A robot that does your shopping so you can have food and drink.
A robot. So Sophia will invent a robot, that goes around and they can go to the supermarket and then they will be able to buy things for people. And they're all great ideas because what you have done is you have thought, okay, people need something. So if you think of like brilliant entrepreneurs in the world, are people that have invented something that people really need. So for example, somebody invented the bulb, right? Because they thought, oh, everybody needs light. So if we invent something that you can connect to the system and you can have light, everybody will be able to see at night time. So that's a great idea of an entrepreneur. I thought, I'm going to make sure that I invent something new that then I can sell to people because people have a need. And the whole idea when you invent something or think of something is to get people something that they need in life to be able to do something else. So the whole idea, so the first thing to do is you find a problem, okay? So you find a problem that we all have, and we just had an example. We all have this issue at the moment where there is coronavirus, and the coronavirus is affecting all of us. So we need a solution, right? And then when you find a solution, is you have to work really, really hard to see how you're going to invent something new that nobody has done before. And that is very difficult because you have to think ahead and think, how I'm going to do it, where am I going to source all the stuff that I need, how I'm going to address that problem, and how can I give it to people and sell it to people. And that's the next thing is, when you have that solution, is how do you make it happen? Right? And the next thing to make it happen is, the only way that you can make something happen is you need to work really hard to get from an idea, because all what you have is an idea at the start of it, and when you move the idea, you have to find how to do it, right? And that is the next step, because when you find out how you're going to do it, you have to think in a lot of things of how to get money, because without money your business is not going to work. So the next thing that we're going to work is, imagine that you now have come out with the perfect solution for the coronavirus. You're going to think, great, I am going to invent the vaccine. So you go and you work as hard as you want to, and you want to make sure that vaccine is going to be invented, and you're going to give it to everybody in the world. Then you need to see, how am I going to sell it? Also, I'm going to see, who can I give it to? Who is going to buy it for me? Who is going to produce it very quickly? Who is going to make me thousands and thousands of them so I can deliver it to them? Like Isabella said, we need somebody to take them in transport and give it to everybody very quickly. And Sophia said, well, sometimes we're going to have robots. Well, a robot is also going to be needed. And that is what we need to do after we create a business.
Couldn't the robot have like a little camera on top of it, and then you have a little control so you can tell it where to go?
Exactly. So you have to think about all these things. So if we get Sophia's invention, so she says, we are going to do a robot, right? And then we have to think about, okay, if we are going to build a robot, what do we need? And we're going to need loads of stuff. We're going to need loads of pieces of metal to create the robot. We're going to need batteries. We're going to need to make sure that somebody knows how the robot is going to work. We're going to need to make sure that the robot goes somewhere with us, so it does what we tell them to do. But we are going to need loads and loads of robots. And the robots need to be done very, very quickly. And then we need to make sure people are going to want to buy them, because if the robot doesn't work, nobody's going to want to buy our robot, because they're going to say, we just don't want the robot. So that's something that we have to think about how do we make sure that we help people. But if we go back to basis, we're going to talk about something that people really like to talk to understand something about business. And one of the things that we have to talk about business is, that is very, very important, and we all talk about it and we need to understand it, is, what do we know about how business works, and how do we work out whether a business, so the business that we have created, is good or not. And everybody talks, and I hope that you all have heard about this, they talk about two things. Especially, we talk about whether a business make money. So, profits. Right? Lily, do you know what profits are? Have you heard about profits? It's okay if you haven't. That's okay. Isabella? Okay, Isabella, tell us in one word, what do profits mean?
Well, in one word, but like, if you get money back from what you've sold, so something's £10.
Yes?
So if you make a candle and it costs £10 to make it, you're going to sell it, say, for like £15, and then you get a £5 profit.
Okay, Sophia, what do you think that profits means?
So basically, this scarf.
Yes.
So if the wool and like the knitting tools all made maybe £5.
Yes.
You would probably want it to make more. It's because otherwise you're just getting the money back to make it again. You're not keeping any for yourself.
Okay, so we are going to have an example. So this is very important because everybody always talks about profits, and it's quite a simple topic. So we were talking before about, imagine that you're going to do a business because you found that everybody has a problem. And in this case, the problem is everybody's feeling really, really cold. So everybody has a lot of cold ears. So we come out with an idea. So Sophia thinks, okay, the perfect idea is I'm going to create headbands. And I'm going to create loads of headbands to make sure everybody has warm ears and are not going to feel cold anymore. So Sophia goes and thinks, okay, if I do this headband, I'm going to sell it to everybody and I'm going to sell it for a price. Right, Lily, if you wanted a headband, your ears are very cold, how much will you pay for this headband? £5, that's great. So imagine that the headband, right? So headband is going to be sold for £5. So Sophia thought, okay, everybody has a problem, and she did a massive research with all the market, and she knows that people will pay £5, right, for a headband. That's how much you are going to be able to sell the headbands to everybody in the world, okay? So now we have to work how much is going to cost us to do this headband, right? So if we think about what do we need to do a headband? Okay, Isabella?
Wool and knitting tools.
Okay, so we need wool, right? We need the tools. Sophia?
You need your the knit, like the little stick.
You need the tools, that's the tools. Lily, what do you need for it? You need people to make it, absolutely. And if you don't have people, what would you need? If there is no people, what would you do? Time, very good, you need time. So people's time are going to cost. And also, if you don't have people, you will need to buy a machine, don't you? Because sometimes you'd replace people with machines and that's going to cost you money, right? So, if you what else would you need? So if you need to sell it to people, what happens if you want to put some something so people know you're selling them? What is that called?
Price tag.
No, price tags, possibly, yeah. So we can put tags, okay, in there. What do you do if you want to sell something? How do you tell people you're selling them?
Oh, I know.
Sophia?
You can put a sign up saying headbands for sale.
Yeah, so advertising, yeah. So we have advertising, okay. What did you say, Lily? Magazines, exactly. So you can advertise in magazines or you can advertise in papers. And the issue is that if you think about all this is going to cost you, right? So the wool is going to cost you, the tools are going to cost you, the people and the time are going to cost you. So if you think about, if we say that the wool is going to cost you,
£3.
you know, 50p, and the tools are going to cost you 50p, and then usually people are the most expensive because people have to spend the time and they have to do it very quickly, and you know they're going to cost you lots of money. So say that they cost you
20.
£1, and say that you need machines and that costs you another £1. Then you need the tags, because you need to put little tags to say made by, you know, the lovely knitting company.
Or how much they are.
That's going to cost you 20p, and then advertising is going to cost you, say that you spend 10p in advertising. It's something that you're missing from here. What are you missing from here that you have to pay so that we have hospitals and schools and things and everything else? Isabella?
Taxes.
You have to pay taxes, don't you? So
And you need a shop to sell them.
exactly. So there are two things that you need, and they are absolutely right. You need to pay taxes, so you have to take that of your price, and you need to sell it from somewhere, unless you go door to door and you just pay for things. So you need to pay tax, right? That we don't know how much it is, but you need to build it in. And we may need a shop, you know, so the place where we work, because all their costs that we have, so to make them, we're going to have to pay for electricity, we're going to have to pay for water, we may have to pay for rent, we may have to pay for a mortgage, and in the next lesson we look at all that stuff of, you know, how much to pay, but of all the stuff that we have to pay, for every headband we may have to pay something like 20p. So if we add all this very quickly, right, so we are going to add all of our costs, Okay, that's the costs
£3.50.
minus the selling price, right? That is £1, £2, £3, £3.50 we have so far without tax, right? That's how much it's going to cost to make it. And if we sell it for £5, the profit that we're going to make is, what is the profit? £5 minus £3.50?
£1.50.
We're going to make £1.50, which means that for every band that we sell, we are going to make £1.50, and then from that we have to take tax, right? And that's very important because we always have to pay tax, and it's very important that we pay the tax. And if we pay 50p of tax, that is still leave us with £1, and that is, Lily, what we call profit, right? So it's the difference between what we sell something for and how much it costs us minus all that cost, and that makes sure that you make some money so that you don't lose any money. Because if you create a business, so we have said before, you identify a problem, you have told to people, look, we need to address that issue, and you came with a great idea to make sure people are not cold in their ears. And then what we do is we sell it, so we ask everybody how much you're going to pay. If they pay us £5 and we spend £3.50, we get £1.50, and then we have to pay tax. And that's how you make profits. And that is not one of the only things that entrepreneurs are worried about. And we talked before about coronavirus. It's also the social impact. So if you create a vaccine, sometimes it doesn't matter if you make money or you don't make any money. But the most important thing is you need to have a sustainable business so that you can help people. Because if you don't make money, you need money to be able to help people as well. Sophia, question?
If you were to make like 10 of them,
Yes.
but then you added that up all together, like
Yes.
the profit,
Yes.
and it didn't add up to 10, would that be a good profit or not?
Well, you have to think about it, because what you have to think about is if you did 10 of this, so really the question is, if you do 10 of this, so you're not doing one anymore, but you do 10, will your profits be more or less? And that really depends, because if you buy more things, so you buy more wood, the likelihood is that the wood will go down in price, and you don't need to buy any more tools because you already have the tools, you already have the machines, you're already advertising, you already have a shop, so your costs will go down. So the likelihood is your profits go up, but you need to make sure that you don't sell them. But okay, if we think ahead, so imagine that your business is doing well and you sell the first headband. What would you do to make sure that people will come back and buy more headbands from you? Because the whole thing about entrepreneurs is that they have to think all the time and they have to reinvent themselves. So Lily, if you wanted to sell more of these ones, what would you do so people come back to you and buy more from you? Like think, for example, will you change the colors, for example? Will you do them in different colors? Very nice. Isabella?
Like you can change. So say you buy, well, like some shops, if you buy, say like 2 glasses case, you get like what, like in the bookshop, 2 books and like you get one half price. You could do offers.
Okay, so you do offers. So Isabella is saying sometimes you may do, rather than if you buy 2 of them, you get 1 free. But actually you have to look, because that may go down in your profits. Sophia?
I would do them in different colours and different sizes. It's because then if someone really likes it, but then they have a smaller head, then they can't really buy it. It's because it's too big.
Fantastic. So what Sophia is saying is, sometimes you may have people that have different heads or the smaller heads, and it's very difficult to sell them. So what you do is you may do them in different colors, and especially for boys. Boys may not want this color, so if you want to get boys to buy them, you may need to do it in black. Right, or you may need to do it in brown, because boys like maybe different colors than girls, right? Or you may need them bigger. So that's the lesson for today. So what I want you to do for next lesson, if you enjoyed this lesson, is next week what we'll think is what business. I want you to think about what business would you do, And the three things that you have to think about are, what problem do you want to solve? So why do you want to do that business, i.e. what problem do you want to solve? What will you do to build that business? What would you call your business? Right? And you want to tell me for how much you will sell what you're going to sell and how much money you think that you're going to make as a profit. And that's for the next lesson, okay?
Okay.
Fantastic. So